Happy Camper Radio.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 256. Glad to be back with you again. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Of course, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Daniel's back in the studio. Hello there, Mr. Daniel.
Hello.
I am all pumped up and excited from my recent camping trip. Got a lot of things to talk about today. Also on the show, we are welcoming back Rose McHenry.
Fan number one.
Oh, yes. And she is in the background waiting to be on the program. She's going to be talking about Death Valley National Park out in California. Great, lovely place to be, I understand.
Yeah. I've been
Rose
there.
will have a whole lot of things to talk about, too. It's episode 256 coming in your ear right now.
Happy Camper Radio.
And as always, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. We're in all the major podcast directories. You can find us there. And, of course, on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. That's me. And, of course, if you want to see our smiling faces in the studio as we do the show, check us out on YouTube. And if you want to subscribe, look for that little red box right down here with the pup tent in it.
Right there.
You know, you might see Daniel's head sticking out of it, okay? You can just click on that, okay? Don't steal his bandana, but,
Nope.
You go ahead, click on that, and be a subscriber to the show. Daniel, I had an awesome time
I know.
this past week. Oh, my heavens. I couldn't wait to get back in that RV.
Mm-hmm.
And for one time, Daniel, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but there was not one drop of rain,
Nice.
okay, the whole time I was there.
You were right on the lake.
I was right on
I
the
think
lake.
you posted every day you were there.
I did. We had a great time. It was a little chilly, a little brisk, and for the most part, there wasn't too many people out walking around, even though there were quite a few campers there. And members of the Grand Design family. I had one parked right next to me.
Wow.
Okay, so, it's a very popular RV, and I love mine. I love my Transcend Explorer. It's 23 feet in length. And the only complaint I had this time, Daniel, is, and I encourage anybody to do this regardless of where you're camping, whether it's a recreation.gov campsite or anywhere. Take a look at the photographs and also be sure to read any of the reviews associated with that campsite.
Okay.
Because this was a pull-through site. It looked very good, looked very easy to get into, but it really was not. Okay, this was rated for like a 44-foot maximum length.
Okay.
But it was a really tight fit. I had to actually drive around the campground a second time and pull into this site with a very wide right-hand turn to actually get in there, get it straightened off, and get leveled off. Okay. But we had a great time. We took a tour through the park. Didn't do much walking around, like I said, because it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
Had campfires every night. A lot of folks were really fascinated with my bucket light, Daniel, that I made.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
I got that idea last year from a gentleman up on Lake Lanier, and I had to come home and construct one. And I posted it on Facebook, and, everybody was looking like, whoa, hey, look at that. Considering the price of Coleman fuel, which right now is about $12 a gallon.
Oof.
Okay, well, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Now, I have some of those old-time lanterns. I mean, nowadays they make the ones that are operated by gasoline and Coleman fuel both.
Yeah.
But I've got just the standard Coleman fuel lanterns, which I've had for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Still work. But I'll tell you what, this bucket light adds just enough accent to your campsite.
Nice.
Okay? And the reviews I got on it were just fantastic. So I think there's going to be a lot of people out there making bucket lights now.
There you go.
Okay? And you just bring a long extension cord, plug it into the side of your RV or in the outlet right there at your campsite.
Yeah.
Okay? But, Sadie and I, we toured the campground. Now, the McKinney Campground is located in Ackworth, Georgia.
Yep.
And it's pretty much a wooded campground. It's a lot of pine trees. There was not much greenery around because considering it's early March.
Yeah.
But, Sadie is the type of dog, Labrador Retriever, normally they get excited when they see birds. Okay, ducks and geese doesn't bother her in the least. Let her see a deer.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah.
Look out. Look out, plaster.
Yeah,
my heavons.
You had those pictures of those deers out there.
We actually shot some video of some deer.
Nice.
Yeah, and we pulled right up, and they weren't bothered by us. A lot of other folks pulled up, too, and, took the time to just enjoy the view.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's really nice to see wildlife come up to your campground and in your campsite.
Sometimes.
I really enjoy it. But I am 1 week away now.
Oh,
A week
boy.
from tomorrow, I'm heading back out to my favorite campground of 2022. I'm going back to the Bald Ridge Creek Campground.
Okay.
And that's up on Lake Lanier. And this time I'm staying for 5 days and 4 nights.
All right.
Let's just see if I can weather the storm this time around like
yeah,
I
you'll
did
be
last
good.
week.
You'll be fine.
I'm sure it will. But I'm really looking forward to it. And Daniel, I think very soon I'm going to be seeing you and Deidre out there.
Yeah, we need to get out that pop-up and start going somewhere. We gotta figure out.
Maybe today. It's not a bad day. I'm going to be working on my RV this afternoon.
Yeah?
I bought a 20-foot extendable flagpole.
Oh, okay.
All right, and I got it at our local Harbor Freight. But you know the mounting brackets, the ladder mounts, are pretty hard to find. I did manage to find a set on eBay,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to install them this afternoon.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to be proud to fly Old Glory
Oh.
when we get there.
I thought we'd make a happy camper flag.
We could, but there's 2 flags that I really love flying. That's Old Glory, and also the Thin Blue Line.
Okay.
All right, because I'm law enforcement. I support law enforcement, even though I'm retired.
Yep.
Been retired for a number of years now, but yeah, I really support the men and women in blue.
Yep.
Okay. But anyway, Daniel, on the show, we have for episode 256,
Uh-huh.
we're welcoming back Rose McHenry.
Yay!
Yeah, we are very excited to have her on the program. And what do you say? Without further ado, let's get her on the show right now. Now, Daniel, I hit the button again. What happened? What happened to my button? What happened? Okay. Oh, Daniel, there it is. Yeah.
Happy Camper Radio.
I got a 16-channel board, and if you're not careful, you hit the wrong button, nothing will happen.
Aha.
Okay? But anyway, we are so excited to have Rose McHenry back on the show today. Rose is a former California State Ranger and also a former U.S. National Park Ranger. She's wrote this fantastic book called Trip Tales, From Family Camping to Life as a Ranger. Rose, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Daniel. I'm really happy to be back.
Well, we're happy to have you back on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Now, Rose, you were a park ranger at Death Valley National Park for a number of winters. Now, I'm not sure what the winters are like out there in California. I've never been there before. I know you get some brutal weather occasionally. So tell us a little bit about Death Valley National Park and what is it about this place that draws folks to that location?
Well, I'll tell you, I loved working there because most people, when they think of the desert, they think of, a barren, hot wasteland. And Death Valley is actually a stunningly gorgeous place with all these colorful rock canyons and striking mountain peaks reaching up to 10,000 feet, and spectacular vistas and golden canyons, sand dunes, and even hidden waterfalls. And there are literally endless hundreds of miles of trails. There's campgrounds. There's these back roads that are amazing. You can take jeeps on, and there are hidden ghost towns to explore. The park is over 3 million acres. It's the largest national park in the lower 48 states. I mean, you could explore that park for years and never see it all. I've been going there all my life, and I've never seen it all. So the park website is www.nps for National Park Service.gov for government, and then /DEVA for Death Valley. But if you just look up Death Valley, Google Death Valley, you'll get to the website. But anyway, I was a national park ranger there for 7 winter seasons, and I loved it. The weather there in the winter it's beautiful. It's like in the 60s, and it's usually sunny and bright. And my job was to greet park visitors at the visitor center, to lead people on trail hikes, to give evening programs, and to do night sky talks. And I loved every minute of being there.
My. Okay. Now, what do the people enjoy most about Death Valley?
Well, I'd say seeing the amazing geological wonders. I mean, there's roads that take people right into the heart of the park where they can see places like Artist's Palette, which is a canyon that's filled with so much color. It looks like somebody splashed paint all over the place. It's amazing color. And then Devil's Golf Course, a place that The ground is so salt encrusted and crazy and uneven. You say only the devil could walk across it. And then places like Golden Canyon, which is a maze of different canyon walkways with a landscape so wacky it was actually featured in Star Wars, in all the Star Wars movies.
No kidding.
And then there's Badwater. Yeah, a lot of movies were filmed at Death Valley.
Okay.
And the Golden Canyon area and the Desolation Canyon area were the main places, and that's right near the heart of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Badwater, which is a salt flat that's over 300 feet below sea level. And that is set against the backdrop of snow-capped Telescope Peak, which rises over 10,000 feet above. And then there's a road up to a place called Dante's View, which gives a 360-degree vista where you can actually see for over 100 miles across 6 different mountain ranges. I mean, that view up there is just spectacular. You feel like you're looking out across the entire world. And then there are places where you can wander across sand dune fields, and you'll feel like you're Lawrence of Arabia from the movie Lawrence of Arabia, and countless other breathtaking sights. I mean, people who go to the park are amazed just by the sheer natural wonder of it all. And then, best of all, this spring, with all this crazy rain we've had, they're anticipating that there'll be a world of wildflowers this year. And you don't get wildflowers there every year, but on the years when you get enough rain, wildflowers begin to appear in mid-March, and they bloom through April and May all over the valley floor, and then May, June up the mountain sides into the higher canyons. So it's going to be a banner year for wildflowers, I think.
Wow. Now, how do you get to Death Valley? Is it very, very accessible? I've never been to California before, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners have not. But if they want to come out there, how would they arrive?
Oh, it's beautiful. Your listeners should go there. It's just such a spectacular place. It's there's a lot of different roads into Death Valley. It's in southeastern California, so it's right next to the Nevada border, about a 2-hour drive west from Las Vegas. Or if you're coming up from the Southern California, Los Angeles basin, it's probably anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And if you're coming down from the Sacramento region, then it's probably a good 9-hour drive. But there are lots and lots of different ways to get there, depending on where you're starting from. So the best thing to do, what I recommend, is check the park website for the most current information, because severe weather can impact the different roads coming in, and road closures can be in effect, especially right now when we're getting hit with so many rainstorms. But those are going to quiet down in a few more weeks, we expect, and then you'll be able to get over some of those high mountain passes leading in. So a lot of different ways to get to the park. Just check the maps and check the road conditions.
Okay, now as a happy camper, let's talk about accommodations here. Are there campgrounds there, and are they basic? Do they offer full hookup?
Great question. There are lots of different campgrounds and lodges, both in Furnace Creek, which is the main hub of the park, and also at nearby Stovepipe Wells, which is about a 30-minute drive to the west of there. Both villages offer lodging, camping, shops, restaurants, supplies, convenience stores, and gas. And there are also backcountry camps in the more remote areas for more adventurous travelers who like to crash and bash around in their off-road rigs. We love doing that in our Jeep Wrangler. But the campgrounds, some of them offer full hookups, both at Stovepipe Wells and Furnace Creek. And it's best to call in advance and check and see if you can reserve those. But sometimes some are available when you get there. And then there are lots of more basic campsites that may not be full hookups, but they're right near all of the nearby amenities, where you can simply drive in and park your rig, and then you can walk over to shops and restaurants and things. So the park website lists the contact information for advance reservations to make lodging and camping reservations, and the lodges are very nice too. So, I recommend calling ahead and checking and making a reservation if you can.
What would you say is the best time of year to visit Death Valley?
Well, right now, I mean, my absolute favorite time, honestly, is right after Christmas, when all the Christmas crowds go away. And before the President's Day weekend, people show up. So January is great because it's quiet, it's calm, it's cool. The days run in the 60s. But right now is also an awesome time to go because the temperatures are still in the 70s before it starts getting really warm. So people love, I mean, some people are crazy. They love going there in the heat of summer just to be able to say that they were there when it was 125 degrees outside. These people race around from spot to spot in their air-conditioned cars, jump in and out all day like jackrabbits, hopping from spot to spot. And then they race back into their air-conditioned rooms or jump into the spring-fed hotel pools. But I really prefer to be there, you know, in the winter before it gets really hot, because then you've got bright sunny days and spectacular night skies. I like to be able to get out of my car and walk into canyons, stroll along creeks, hike into waterfalls, and visit all the ghost towns and mining camps that they have there. Discover wildflowers and experience nature. So I recommend going between November through April. Go any later than late April, and you're going to be running for shade.
Well, Daniel's a pretty much a get-up-and-go type guy, so I think Death Valley would probably offer a lot of activities for a guy like him.
I've been there once. We went up there from Vegas one time, and we went to that, I guess they call it like a prehistoric lake. I think that's where you said the salt flats were. And then we saw, then we went up to the top of the mountain and saw all that. And they talked about like the reason Death Valley is so hot and dry is because of the mountain ranges. It blocks everything from getting there. So it's just kind of stuck. The question I had, so you said that it was in the 60s. Now, how cold does it get at night? Because I know like in the desert, it could be 100 degrees, you know, during the day, but it could be like in the 30s at night or something.
Good point, Daniel. I checked the weather today in the valley, and it's in the mid-40s, but that's because there's these storms going through right now. Normally in March, it can easily be up in the 70s. But how cold does it get at night? In the winters, it can get down into the 30s, into freezing easily, and sometimes below that. So you could have a daytime temperature of 70, 75, and a nighttime temperature in the 30s. Because it's a desert, it's rock, it doesn't really hold the heat of the day. And so that the temperature extremes can be vast. And in the summer, of course, the temperature extremes are even more.
Well, let it be freezing. Like it doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, you're in the...
In fact, this past week, I was running my furnace in the RV with no problem at all. And, Daniel, he's been so concerned about how much propane I've been using because I think his mom gave him the devil about using too much propane up
That's
there.
what she said, but I don't know. Okay. I think it's a myth.
Well, I went out this morning and I changed the tank out. So. Okay.
Sorry, Skip.
No problem.
The best thing is to wear, down jacket and warm clothes and have a good down sleeping bag. Even if you have a camper, I'm a strong believer in a good warm sleeping bag.
Yeah, or a quilt. Right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those quilts are nice, and they're lightweight, too.
Yeah. But, Rose, have you thought about writing a book about Death Valley?
That's a great question, Skip. Actually, my next big book, I'm working on a book project right now. It's going to be all about my many years as a patrol ranger on the American River here in California, and that's coming out next. But after I've finished that, my next big writing project is going to be about being a ranger in Death Valley. And it's going to talk all about the 7 winter seasons I worked there and all the crazy and wild things that I ran into out there. I mean, like, I'd be in my camper at night and the coyotes would come and serenade me. They'd come all around my RV and just start howling every night. It was amazing. So, definitely we'll be writing.
Okay, I'm excited about that. But, we're still working through your book here, which is Trip Tales from Family Camping to Life as a Ranger. And not too far down the road, we're going to have an audio book for you.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
It's slow going.
And Daniel, why don't you share with us information about the audio book?
We're getting my wife to do it. We haven't been doing it as much as we wanted to because everything's crazy, but we want to get it done definitely by the end of this summer. We really want to bang it out. Definitely. That's the goal. and then tweak it however we need to. And so hopefully by the end of the summer, hopefully.
And it ought to be a good
That is
sounding
wonderful.
audio book too, because we are using the studios of Happy Camper Radio.
There you go.
And all of our professional production equipment, okay, to record that book.
Yeah.
And, I'll tell you, I see Deidre when she gets into the sound booth there, she just rolls with this.
Oh, yeah. She's a great reader.
There's just no way I could be an audiobook reader. Okay. I just don't have it in me. But she's a natural.
Yep.
Wow. And she just is just so good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you and I are sitting outside the sound booth, but we're listening in the headphones. But, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And she's about halfway through it. So, eventually, that audio book will be available available for publication. But, Rose, I'll tell you, I want to take this opportunity to thank you again for being on the program. I know we got you up pretty early here for a Sunday to be on the show. But it's always a pleasure to have you here. And for folks who haven't gotten your book already, Trip Tales, it's from family camping to life as a ranger. You can get it now in the Amazon store. It's available there. And I would encourage each and every one of you who are into camping to pick up a copy of Rose's book and look out for additional chapters or additional books later on down the road. Rose, thank you so very much for being on the program. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate it, and kudos to Daniel and Deidre for working on the audiobook. That's just
you're
such a
welcome.
gift. And to you, Skip, for offering the studio. It's going to be just an amazing thing when that comes out. So thank you both so much for having me on the show.
Thank you, Rose. Glad to have you here. Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Always pleasure having Rose on the program. Yeah. It's always good to hear from her, and always, finding out what she's been doing throughout her life as a park ranger, both from, the state and the national side. But, I wish I was a little bit younger and was living in California, and I could be out there when I could, connect up with Rose and, and see what life was like. As a ranger.
It's different out there. It's very different out there.
I bet you a lot of people enjoyed her tours.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But, Daniel, we've got many camping trips lined up here for 2023. I've got a lot of things to be talking about.
Yeah, you do.
But right now, we're going to be talking about our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
What do you say we go up to the state of Kentucky, Daniel?
I've been there.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We went to Mammoth Caves.
Have you been camping up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right by Mammoth Cave. Well, kind of near. There was, I think it was called Crystal something Caves. We went right by it was a Thousand Trails thing, and yeah, we went there. That was fun.
Well, this week we're going to take you to the Smith Ridge Campground. It's near Campbellsville, Kentucky. It's a beautiful campground, Daniel. The Smith Ridge Campground offers 80 campsites, 62 of which have water and electric hookups. Amenities such as flush toilets, showers, fire rings, and drinking water provide a comfortable camping experience. A playground and hiking trail offer additional recreational opportunities within the campground. They've got a boat ramp, fishing pier, parking area, picnic areas, swimming beach, 9-hole frisbee golf course right up your alley.
There we go.
Okay,
I'm there.
Now where Daniel's going.
Now we're talking.
Okay. And additional restroom facilities, marina, and marina-owned condos are all located within 1 mile of the campground. I'm going to have a link to it all week long on Happy Camper Radio. If you haven't already signed up for an account, look for the little blue tab in the upper right-hand corner. Sign up or log in. Do one of the two, okay? And you can check out many of the different campgrounds all across the country. I use recreation.gov a lot because now I've got that senior discount access pass.
Yep.
Okay, and I have been booking campsite after campsite after campsite with that. Okay, and every one that I find, Daniel, offers a beautiful scenery. Okay, I enjoy getting out there. Sadie enjoys getting out there. I know my Transcend Explorer enjoys getting out there too. And this coming week, like I said, I've got 5 days and 4 nights back up on Lake Lanier. And of course, I booked it all through recreation.gov. Remember, friends, don't move firewood. Okay, you buy your firewood locally and burn it on site. Protect the forest from those tree-killing insects. Always by buying your firewood locally and burning it right there at your campground. For more information, look up recreation.gov. You can find a link to it there, but it is don'tmovefirewood.org. Check it out. This is a beautiful campground. I'm going to have a link to it all week long on Happy Camper Radio. It is the Smith Ridge Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
HappyCamperRadio.com.
And as always, if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, you know how to get in touch with me. Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. The guy in the red shirt.
Hey, Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, always a pleasure to have you back in the studio, too. And we've got another great episode coming up very, very soon. I've got all the details of my next camping trip on episode 257. Yeah, can you believe 10 years we've been doing this?
10 years.
Oh, my hell. My. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. I want you to visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web. We're there 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see us in person. Yeah, the Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel is a happy camper. Rose in the background, I know she's a happy camper as always. We're going to make a happy camper out of you. Talk to you again real soon, everybody.
Happy Camper Radio.